We are live. Woo.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome back to Off the Wall Nerds. It has been a long time coming, but we are here with season 2 of our premiere. New year, new show, new logo, thanks to Justin. And we are joined with we got the kind of our OG trio here. We got Ross, we got Justin, and myself. So, there's Ross working on some stuff
Ross,
down there.
also known as the Hand.
The Hand, the Eyebrows of Doom, the man with the rant.
So, well, here we are, guys. There may be some confusion on my Twitch side because apparently my Twitch thing is not showing the correct title, but it is on mine. Anyway, but hopefully you guys can all hear us pretty well. For those of you watching, we've got a pretty good show lineup for you tonight. So let me go ahead here, actually pull this up.
Link in chat, please.
If you guys can't hear Justin, let me know because now I can't hear Justin.
Oh God, you broke it. Hello.
Yeah, I can hear Ross fine, but I'm having trouble hearing Justin.
Okay, hang on. I'll turn it up a bit.
But so
Leia now.
Leia subscribing, no surprise there. 23 months Leia's been subscribed. Collusion. But
might be a slight bias there.
Slight bias, very slight. So we have a fun show ahead for you guys. So we have a few things we're gonna kind of go over. We're going to talk about Star Trek as a whole in 2023, the ups and downs. Star Trek had a very good year last year, so we're looking forward to that. We'll talk about For All Mankind. That's the what if the space race never ended for the U.S. and Russia, and then of course we'll talk about Monarch: Legacy of Monsters. Going forward with the MonsterVerse, they have some very, very cool things going on right now. But right now,
watch it.
but right now, it's been awesome as you guys have seen us. So let's go with Ross. How you been? How's the new job? The life's getting better. How's that?
Well, life since I've been on any podcast has taken quite the turn. Changes in employment, changes in living situation, changes in everything. This life constantly throwing me curveball after curveball after curveball. And I feel like I've been foul so many times, I don't know which way is up. But things are looking up. I do have a new job. I'm working in field service as a sprinkler technician. I've been burned by electricity one too many times, so it's now time to do something that's not going to kill me on contact.
Well, water can kill.
Yes, but it won't kill you instantly.
Yeah,
if you are unfortunate and stupid enough to work with water to the point that it will kill you, you probably deserved it. But then again, if you did something stupid around electricity and got shocked, you probably deserved it too.
Yeah.
Unless someone else was stupid and you didn't deserve it. But anyway.
Like your former employers.
It wasn't my former employer just fired me. It wasn't their fault. It was it might have been some inter-subcontractor politics that played a part. But I'm not in that anymore. Not my circus, not my monkeys. I'm still painting minis. I've got some Assault Jetpack Intercessors that I'll be working on today, doing them up in a Raven Guard theme in between the podcasts. So I hope you guys enjoy a bit of that as we talk about the geeky stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Glad you're doing better. You know, it's always good to hear that. Myself and we moved up to Albuquerque. There's a huge break in my streaming content. I switched jobs a couple times. Finally got moved in. As you see behind me, we've got that stuff set up. We're probably gonna be switching jobs again, but it's been pretty good though. Kiddos, my son just turned 4, so Jonathan's nice and happy at least. He's kind of grumpy right now.
As 4-year-olds are wont to be.
Yeah,
I mean, most 4-year-olds are grumpy.
He's very
Emotional damage.
Yeah, precisely. But yeah, so things been going pretty good with me. For those of you who are subscribed to my YouTube, I did put out a video a couple days ago about my future of our podcast, future of our channel, my channel, and all that going forward. What we're gonna do. For my streaming, particularly, guys. For those of you interested in like trading cards and all that, I'm an official authorized seller and whatnot, and I'm also affiliated with RareCandy.com for vintage cards like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, all that. So you guys keep an eye out for that. But then now, Justin, last but not least, how have you been, man? It's been, like I said, been a while.
Yeah, it's been a hell of a roller coaster. Let's see, I've had 2 hospital stays, 1 round of COVID.
You're coming off a little distorted, Justin.
Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can fix that. It's been a while since I've done all this, so I have to.
Yeah, we're still working out the
editing
kinks, guys. Like I said, it's been a while.
There we go. Anyhow, so I too have changed jobs. It's been a roller coaster for the last God, how long has it been? A year? A year since we've done this.
I said, did Justin die off now? What happened?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, it's been what, a year, I guess, since you've been here last. So 3 hospital stays, 1 round of COVID, a job change, and dealing with a whole lot of bullshit. But other than that, it's been pretty good.
Yeah. So we're we're off to despite my situation of switching jobs, but we're off to a good year. I mean, a good start to the new year. So like I said, we're settled in. Justin got stuff going. Ross is doing better. So we're off to a good start, I think. So we're gonna start off our show though, because we're all Trekkies and we love this topic, of course, above all. So we're gonna start talking about Star Trek in the year it had in 2023. We had Picard finished up with season 3. Strange New Worlds had an amazing season 2. Lower Decks had a decent season. And of course, Prodigy got saved. It was canceled technically, but then saved by Netflix. They will take over season 2. And of course, the ending of Discovery at season 5. It will premiere this year as the final
Good
season.
for you, Greg. Good for you. You said ending and not
I didn't
canceled.
say it, I know. But
That shows progress.
but I'll say so I want to start with Picard season 3 because I know all 3 of us have seen it. Holy crap. Picard season 3 is what the show should have been from the very beginning.
Oh yeah.
Now don't get me wrong, I did enjoy season 1. I enjoyed season 2, but you guys know there's always just something missing. And the Borg 2 times in a row is like kind of like, okay, we get it. Come on. But season 3 blew it out of the park. Like they just absolutely brought it all together. Did amazing. My favorite moment of the show, Justin called it the episode prior, but he did call it when they brought back the Enterprise D. I was done.
I'm gonna let you in on a little spoiler about that. I had a bit of a heads up.
And so Hangar 12 is definitely a new thing among Trekkies. But with Ross being one of our not Ross being new, but just Ross, so what do you think of season 3 overall as Picard?
Season 3 of Picard was just pure fan service in so many different ways, in the best ways, in the ways that people were asking for, in the way that people wanted the show to be from the beginning. When they heard a show centering around Picard, they, like all of us, kind of expected it to be a continuation of where TNG left off. And quite a few people were disappointed that it wasn't. Some of us here included. But I liked the first couple seasons. I thought it was interesting for them to go a new direction, introduce new characters, try and tell new and different stories. And they ended up retreading a few older stories. But season 3 did everything right, I think. A nice little misdirection with the changelings.
Fucking solid.
That was mind.
A kind of parallel to All Good Things, where the crew had been disparately separated and scattered across the winds, all doing their own thing in different areas. A few that we knew, a few that we didn't. Beverly making kind of the most dramatic transformation out of everybody, from a devoted Starfleet doctor to a vigilante doctor.
Right.
It was not what I expected in the least. And of course, Jack being the biggest surprise of all for pretty much for the audience and the characters in the show.
And I thought it was pretty interesting when they got the actor to play Jack. I kind of knew right off the bat that he was Picard's son because they got a good actor who looked like he could be Patrick Stewart's son.
Yeah,
And
so
they gave him
better
the
than Tom
accent.
Hardy.
right, and so it was like, okay, he looked kind of familiar. And then even I love that Riker was the one just to spill the beans. Like, am I the only one who's seeing this here?
No, no, he's not. He are you? No, it wasn't. He's saying, are you guys seriously not seeing what I'm seeing?
Right.
I mean, Riker being the fucking whoremonger of the galaxy. I mean,
And they-
of course
and they
he was
did-
spotted.
That's just memes, Justin.
But they did
Uh-huh.
it again too in Lower Decks with the whole Tom Paris Locarno. When we'll get to that in a bit, but it's like that kind of
Well,
looks like Tom Paris, and Boyd was like, I don't
that's
see it.
that's completely different. But
I know,
yeah,
so-
that Jack was an interesting character that I think that I hope we get to see more of in the future. I like that that they at least carried on with a few characters from the first couple seasons of Picard.
Mhm.
I'm still a little irritated that we didn't get Jurati or Soji back at all.
I was okay with Girardi.
Now that was fucking stupid.
I was okay with
I mean,
Girardi not coming back, but Soji kind of was like weirded out. Like she could have easily been brought back, and just that would have been one of the easiest ones to bring
Even
back
as
next to
android.
Elnor.
Yeah, Elnor too. There was a lot of fan favorite characters from the first two seasons that we just didn't get to see again, who should have been there. But for whatever reason, they didn't, and the whole focus was on everybody. I'm still kind of torn about Data's resurrection again. Because as you guys know, one of my biggest pet peeves in genre fiction is a lack of stakes or the reverse of an emotional moment.
Right. Like if they're dead, stay dead.
I mean,
Yes, especially if their death is impactful and emotional. And Data has now had 2 very emotional deaths.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Cortana in Halo. Halo 4 is one of my favorites because of just how gripping and emotional that whole personal story is between Chief and Cortana. And she finally, in her last moment, sacrifices herself to save John, to save everyone from the Didact. And then 343 reverses everything by pulling evil Cortana out of the hat.
Right.
I hate that so much. And I was so
my gripe with the Data thing is they should have done that on the season 2. Right whenever he was dying, they should have found a way to save him. Then,
but
instead of pulling the reverse Uno card in season 3.
But then again, this isn't the same Data as before. This is a
No.
combination of pretty much the entire Soong legacy in one being. It's not the same person.
And if we
It-
had to pin it is obviously Data before he dies on the Scimitar.
Right. But,
Because
but he also has all the memories and experiences of Lore, of
Right.
B4, of all of the living memories of Soong, and still all the experiences of everyone from Omicron Ceti. Omicron
Theta.
Theta, the planet that got wiped out by the crystalline
Yeah.
entity. All
Beta.
of that is inside this new Data. And I think they should have given him a new name, but for the purposes of the reunion and continuity, they had to make him Data.
Yeah.
But this also isn't the same Data because he's not functionally immortal. This Data will also eventually age and die like a normal person. But it's still a little weird.
I mean, they resurrected Picard in season 2 the same way. Which
Well, that's a whole that I've already
Another
ranted
thing
about
weird.
that.
that's why I kind of write off season 2. I mean, some parts of it I'm okay with, and then they bring back Q.
And they did bring back Q at the end. That was
I'm
pretty
like,
good. It's don't
That was a
think
tasteful way to
so.
bring back Q, though. That was very tasteful. Kind of how they handled the Enterprise D. It was a tasteful way of doing it.
Yeah, don't think so linearly.
And of course, I love that though. It's like he goes, "I thought you were dead." So I wish he would have just belted out though the obtuse piece of flotsam. But I love that he's all, your father's trial ended, yours is just beginning. And it's like, you can't tease us like that and not give us more at this point.
Well, they want
Well-
to give us more. The entire production crew has been trying to push Star Trek Legacy
Yeah.
since the moments the finale ended.
like,
And I appreciate they're keeping that fan title.
But
you
we'll
know,
see if that actually pans out. I
the only
understand.
problem.
I don't
that?
see Paramount being too keen on being kind of arm twisted into creating a new series,
we got
especially
great
with the
world.
mismanagement that Paramount has had in the last year or so.
Justin, what your thoughts on season 3? We know you loved it. You called a couple of things, so go ahead and gloat.
I told you so. I remember you ranting, Raven, that there's no way in hell the Enterprise D was going to be brought back, and tried to make a case for it. And then I'm like, okay, all right, bet. And then there it was.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, season 3. I mean, is how the show should have started back on season 1. The pace was perfect. The action was
You're
perfect.
cutting out, Justin. Let's try to adjust your mic a little bit.
The pace was perfect. The everything was perfect with season 3. I mean, that's how they should have done it from the beginning.
Actually, you know what? I'm glad you brought that one up. I'll let you continue. But yeah, the pacing was really, really well done for a 10-episode season. The pacing was solid.
I mean, even the filler episodes. And I know, Ross.
Oh,
I know.
Justin.
I know.
Whoa.
I know. But
In a
even the filler
10-episode series, there's no such thing as filler.
well,
When you start getting into the 20 and 30 episode seasons, you're going to have filler. Everything in
even
the
the
series
so-called filler
supported
episodes was freaking awesome. I
Every-
mean, the story
every-
flowed much better than season 1 or season 2. Because
Alright, so-
before is like we'd be on a story, we would jump off of it, and then we would get back on it. And
So I
you
got a
go-
question.
side plots.
Oh.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, so obviously you guys can tell we all love season 3. So I got a quick question before we move on to the next one. Favorite character that came back that you feel was wasted? Mine was Ro Laren. And I use wasted lightly because I felt we could have gotten more with Ro, but I do also feel her time was very, very short. 1 episode, and they could have gone a little bit longer. So mine is Ro. What about you guys?
Her time
Well,
was short.
We know if she's dead.
Her time was short, but it was also very well executed.
It was.
It was a speed run of unresolved feelings and emotional resolution between two characters who had a lot of baggage.
Mm-hmm.
The emotional bond and the fracturing of that bond between Picard and Ro, they were mentor and protege. They were father and foster daughter. It was
Right.
her betrayal at the end
So-
of her arc in TNG was devastating to Picard.
What do
The
you?
fact
Who
that
do you
he
feel?
just sat there and stared into space as Riker was giving him the report. The only time he has ever done that is after his assimilation.
Yes. What about you, Ross? Who was your favorite character brought back? You feel was okay? Let's say, I'll say mishandled, not wasted, but a little mishandled.
I don't think anyone who came back was mishandled. Like I said, Ro was well done. It was a nice tease to see Tuvok. We even got a bit of Moriarty at one point, which it wasn't
Yes.
the actual Moriarty, but it was still pretty cool.
But they still got the same actor. That was great.
Yeah, that was awesome.
The only
who
thing that we
else?
missed was Janeway.
Janeway's doing her own thing in Prodigy, dude.
Okay, so and I did love Moriarty. It was a little bit, but I loved Moriarty.
I can't think of anyone who I would say was misused.
Egypt,
All right, Justin, what about you?
Egypt. The only one out of all 3 seasons I think that deserved was
We're talking
Egypt.
about season 3, dude. We've talked Icheb to death,
But
and
season
Manu and
3,
Tairemi can't let him go either.
other than Bro, I mean, I don't even really think she's dead. I mean, come on. She was a Starfleet operative. You really think a shuttle accident was going to fucking offer? She went back on that ship and started kicking ass.
I will
Okay, so-
say that
okay, so-
ship, that ship after the shuttle explosion, I've never seen a starship radiate with
angry?
murderous intent before.
Right, and the vault, and it's not even a scary looking ship, but they made it look scary.
The
Yeah,
lighting, the music.
designer of it. I got into a conversation with him on Twitter, and he's like, that was the intent. They did lighting just right and the angle just to make it look pissed off and angry, like it was ready
Right.
to kill you.
Yeah. Dave Blass did an incredible job with that.
So that's our take on season 3 of Picard. We all loved it, and again, the Enterprise D, may she live on and forever. Also, but I'm moving on to this one. So I'm going to ask you this way: with Stranger World season 2, what was your favorite moment, and why was it the entire episode of Those Old Scientists?
Talk about the crossover we didn't know we all needed.
Talk about the
Oh.
crossover of a show I didn't like in Lower Decks, and nailed it. Absolutely killed it.
And they're doing another one.
Are they doing another one?
They are doing another crossover, and apparently a member of the Enterprise and XO1 crew is going to be involved.
Justin, your mic. I can barely hear you.
What's going on with this? There you go. Apparently the NXO1 crew is going to be involved.
No, they're gonna bring someone from the NX-01.
Mhm.
It
Ooh.
better be Archer.
It has to be
That's the
Archer.
rumor.
But no. So as good as season 2
He's
was,
old enough now. He can play a freaking admiral.
Yeah.
as good as season 2 was, from M'Benga being the butcher to Spock being turned into human and passing the
Oh my
Vulcan
god,
trial,
that was great.
to the Lower Deck crossover. I mean, the best episode of the season was definitely Those Old Scientists. Jack Quaid is by far and away one of my favorite young. I don't want to say younger actors. He's our age, a little bit younger, but he's really. I love him in The Boys. He is my favorite character in Lower Decks is Boimer. So I'm sorry, but this is gonna get Ross and you guys. But just when he goes Riker,
Yeah.
Yep.
That was perfect.
hold on, John, to say it, Riker.
And
When-
then they all got promoted at the end of the season, which probably going to lead to something different next season because we all see what happened last time that Boimer got promoted.
Well,
Yeah,
they got
now they're
promoted
all
at the
promoted.
beginning of the season.
Yep. I thought it was
Yeah.
the end of the season.
No, it was the beginning. The whole struggle of understanding their role as lieutenant's junior grade and leaving the hallway bunk room.
God
Yeah, they-
damn it! Now I'm about to go back and watch that season.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go back and watch it because even I remember they got bumped up like the first episode to all lieutenant junior grade, and then oh my gosh, the Vulcan character, her name's
Talin.
Talin. Thank you, a great addition to the cast.
She is fantastic. She is, but what is it about Vulcans that really brings out the raw skill of actors?
Because Vulcans walk around acting like they're all pissed off at all times, but they have it controlled. They're
No, no,
happy
it-
pissed off.
It's not that they're pissed off all the time. It's that they're stoic, and the casting of almost every single Vulcan, except a few maybe in Enterprise, has been so good that they are able to portray these characters that deliver no emotion, but each of them are able to convey subtleties in emotion. That's why Jerry Ryan was so amazing as Seven of Nine. Spock, Leonard Nimoy, Mark Leonard, Jamie Lee Curtis, and now Talin as just this pantheon of amazing actors who've played Vulcans.
Yeah, it's been one of those that really, like you said, it brings out their raw talent. And
It stands
I
to reason that I am Vulcan as a motherfucker.
Mhm.
another great episode. I think Justin actually, I don't think Justin hated it too much or didn't dislike it, but the musical episode bringing back.
Oh,
I
Yeah,
love
Justin's
Subspace
side.
Rhapsody. I
But
watched it so many
so
times.
many people were so mad about that episode. I'm like, it's not the first time.
it's not
Die,
even bad.
die mad assholes. It
As
was
far
amazing.
as Star Trek pseudoscience goes, they made it plausible. And the fact that everybody sang,
Mhm.
that's great. And of course, Anson Mount saying that he's like, I'm terrible. It's like, no, dude, you did good.
And every single song was so impactful. I'm the X was absolutely amazing. And what's the actor's name again? Spock.
For who?
I'm Spock in
Ethan Peck.
Ethan Peck in his solo was absolutely amazing.
And they all got a solo. Like they all nailed their solo.
Almost everyone got a solo, yeah, but just of all the songs, I'm the X was just
Right.
gripping for me. It was just how he went from these emotional highs and lows as he was contemplating the effective end of his relationship with his fiance, and how he was at fault for the whole thing, and how his relationship with Christine is now over, and it wasn't his fault, and he's okay. Well, that's two out of two relationships that I just ruined. I'm gonna shut down now. That's how relatable is that?
Yeah, that's straight up what. And of course, Boimler realizing it's like, oh, what happened to Spock? And then of course, like, oh,
Oh, the look on his face when he saw
Yeah.
Spock smile, just oh god, did I do
that was
that?
so good. Spock is smiling. Spock is smiling.
Spock was eating bacon.
Spock
That-
was eating bacon.
So yeah, so there we go. That was pretty good. To close out the Trek topic, so we have a couple more on Trek, but talking about Prodigy. What?
Prodigy.
Talking about Prodigy, not okay. I don't want to say canceled, but when they said no longer going to produce it, of course, sounds like canceled. But then a fan campaign, and who was to the rescue? Netflix.
They actually got rid of a plane with a banner to fly over to Netflix
Yes.
headquarters.
And so Netflix saved Prodigy with a very, very good fan campaign. So Netflix has agreed to take over Prodigy as far as season 1 and season 2. They will release season 2, but one of the producers, I forget his name, did an interview saying that season 2 wraps up the series, but there's been no official word as to a cancellation or continuation. I think they're going to wait to see what season 2 does. Justin, your thoughts on this one of Prodigy?
Paramount screwed up. I mean,
You think?
that's just all there is to it. And then, of course, latest round of bullshit is all the Star Trek movies are off the Paramount Plus platform.
Yep.
How
Again,
can you name yourself the home of fucking Star Trek and not have all the Star Trek in one place?
Well, that's a disconnect between their marketing and their executives.
Yeah. At this point, I hope someone buys their asses out. As long as it's not Warner Brothers, it'll be okay.
That's who's
they're
in
talking
talks
merger with
right
Warner
now.
Brothers. Of course, that has died down. It's been like a week ago, and it's of course come and gone. But if you look where the Star Trek movies at, they're on. I think they're on. A couple of them are.
They're on
HBO.
fucking HBO Max.
Yeah. Ross, you share that sentiment with Justin about the Prodigy Paramount messing up?
Oh, well, Paramount's been messing up for the last year or so. They went all in on streaming like a lot of other people, and they seemed to be doing really well, but also like a lot of other companies, they really overspended and overestimated just how much money they could make in streaming. And so now they're trying to play catch up to cover the losses that they had because they didn't meet their estimates. And well, we're seeing the results. They're leveraging their most popular franchises, their most popular IPs, renting them out to other companies for the money. And now, well, it's not the exclusive home to Star Trek anymore. Same thing with a lot of Paramount's properties. They've held on to most of Nickelodeon, and
Yeah.
and all
which
of their
is mind
all,
blowing
and all of their
because Prodigy
and all-
was Nickelodeon.
and all of their cop dramas, which is where CBS's biggest cash cow is all their procedural stuff.
Yeah,
But they still got a lot of money to make up, and so they're using Star Trek to try and make that up, much to the chagrin of the fans.
until they try to fucking dump it off to somewhere. I mean, it's
Yeah,
just
it's
Well,
I
that's
get them in a way. Okay, I see why they would cancel Prodigy, but then why would they just let at that point Netflix take it over? But then again, they've had a long-standing partnership with Netflix. Netflix has always been the home of Star Trek, besides Paramount, up until they had their own streaming service. But I don't know. I'm happy Prodigy is coming back. It's a great show. I honestly believe that it'll get a generation of kids into it, and then they'll want to
depending on
explore
who
more
you
Star
ask.
Trek.
yeah. I just hope like this doesn't turn into all these different fucking networks merging together. I just
Yeah,
really hope.
I think after like the merger with Disney buying Fox, and then of course like in gaming, Activision Blizzard getting sucked up, it's like okay, I
I'm
know
not
that,
mad about that one. You got rid of Bobby Chaotic, so I'm not mad about that.
but I think if Warner Brothers and Paramount try to complete this merger, the FCC and SEC is gonna have to they're probably gonna step in. But we'll see what happens on that one. But for a final Trek topic, the ending of Discovery at season 5. Discovery was not without its ups and downs. I will say this: it greatly improved. Season 1 for me, personally, season 1 was pretty bad. Season 2 was bad. I enjoyed season 3. Season 3 was kind of a comeback, but the whole screaming kid thing kind of ruined it for me at the end. Again, though, the 8, 9 episodes leading up to that, beautiful. Season 4 had a potential for one of the best villains we would have ever seen in Star Trek, but then they tried to redeem him too much. So then that kind of fell flat. They really killed Booker's character for me. I'm glad to see he seems to be back to form in the latest Disco 5 trailers and tidbits. But there's a part of me that's excited for Disco season 5, being that it is the end, but it's not going to be the end probably of characters. They're already announcing a couple of the series. But Justin, I
Tilly's
didn't use
leading
the C
Starfleet
word.
Academy.
Yep, I didn't. That could be Mary Wiseman. They haven't confirmed that, but that would be great.
Yeah, but this season had a soft pilot for her
Yes.
and Starfleet Academy.
I mean, I'm kind of optimistic for this because I love to give all the new shows a chance, but apparently this is going to be a sitcom.
Yeah, Starfleet Academy is going to be a sitcom. But
Just kill
Justin,
me
what do you
now.
since I didn't use the C word, I was very careful. But with Disco ending at 5 seasons, do you think they did it to themselves, or do you think it's a good number to end
It was
on?
at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Look, okay, Disco's has had his problem with the first couple seasons being what the fuck sport gets sport because Brian Fuller had a hand in crafting all that, and they were trying to fix it and do fix what they could. I could see that, but season 3, what the fuck was that?
The screen.
It was good in its parts until we got to the reason why the burn happened.
There, yeah, that the burn. That's what I was looking for.
I think that pretty much sealed Discovery's fate, and it getting rid of Giorgio was a mistake because she really brought a lot to that show.
She
Well,
Michelle Yeoh as Georgia really brought it, and I can at least say this though, with her confirming and everybody now that it's out there, Academy Award winner Michelle Yeoh is going to be heading up the Section 31 movie. I'm okay with that.
I'm
I am
okay with
too.
that being a movie rather than a series too.
Yeah,
And apparently, speaking of the topic of Star Trek movies, this is going to come out within the last couple of days. Patrick Stewart has gotten a script for a new Picard movie.
We'll see.
he does have a script. I don't know if it's a Picard movie, but they're pitching as like a T. Okay, here's the
I
thing.
wonder if they're going to do Legacy as a movie. Ooh.
We don't. Okay, Stewart should not have a script in his hands for anything after Picard season 3. That was a bit. The ending in season 3 for Picard was just as good, if not
But-
better than All Good Things.
Yes,
Leave it
but
alone.
if he's going to be a father figure to his son,
I get it.
For a movie to kick off a Star Trek Legacy TV show. Then that could be something.
And before we move on after this one, I'm a little mad at myself. My favorite, so being the Trek fan that I am, and all the Trek, like I guess the Picard season 3 for us hit a lot of the right notes. It ending on Tuvok going resignation denied, Captain. Leia was in tears. I was on the verge of tears. Like I was like, if we get Star Trek Legacy, it's about 7 with the Enterprise.
Yeah.
I am gonna grin ear to ear when I hear 7.
They were already talking Legacy before we knew it was going to be.
I know,
Enterprise.
but now I'll grin ear to ear when we hear this is Captain 7 of 9 of the Federation Starship Enterprise. I am waiting to hear that from Jerry Ryan in a series.
They really blue balled us though at the ending because the whole whenever jumping the warp thing that they've made a thing. The whole saying, cut the black whenever she was saying whatever she said to put the ship into warp, and they just cut the black.
I'm really happy Raffi is staying around.
Raffi is a commander for XO of the Enterprise.
And this is going to be the first couple.
And I do
captain and commanding officer.
Assuming they're still a couple.
I do like how 7 put it. That Starfleet saw fit to give a pirate, what was it? A pirate, a spy, and a criminal their own ship. So that was pretty good. That was pretty
and then
fun.
you put Picard's son in the mix. I mean, a recipe for infinite disaster. What better fit but for an Enterprise?
So that'll conclude it for our Trek side of topics. A couple other things we want to talk about. Now we know the show has been out for a while, but Justin and I have been talking about it behind the scenes. We know Ross hasn't caught up, but we kind of gave him the gist of it. Is the show All Mankind?
Ross, you will fucking love this show. This is right up your little two-brow alley.
Based on everything I've heard about it, yeah, it sounds like it.
And we can talk about the show and not spoil it for us because the premise of the show in simple way is if America lost a space race and we never stop. So in the show, Russia gets to the moon first, we don't, and that pushes us to then fund NASA. One of the great things in the show is that NASA then becomes the forefront of they're literally shoveling money to NASA to get to now we got lost the moon. So then America's like, okay, we're going to be first to build a base up there and find water. And it goes from there. The reason the show was so great, and this is going to lead into kind of the tricky part of us, is the show was created by longtime Trek producer Michael Moore and produced by him. The effects and the technology used, longtime collaborators, Michael and Denise Okuda, are behind a lot of the props and designs used.
Like all the little black stripes, all the decals, everything. Everything is Okuda.
So if you love Star Trek, you're going to love For All Mankind because it's produced and made by Trekkies, by longtime Trek producers, and Denise and Michael Okuda were technical advisors. Was their official tag. So, but For All Mankind has been really good. Joel Kinnaman is one of my favorite actors right now, and he's killing it in his role. His role is basically he lost the moon, but then he was one of the first on Mars. He held the base. His story's been pretty good. But it's where they're at in the show right now is we're about, Justin, how did you put it? With where they are, we're at Mars in the show. They're like 2003, 2005. We're on Mars in a full colony. So Justin puts that about 30 years. We're about 30 years behind that right now.
Yeah.
But
we're
Ross,
behind in a lot of different sci-fi. According to the original Star Trek lore, we should have be in the middle of either the eugenics war or the Third World War, or one of those major calamities.
So the World War III is, according to Trek, 30 years away.
According to the revision that came about due to multiple time alterations.
Right. And one of the events that's supposed to happen this year, the Bell Riots.
Yep. In the old lore, whether or not that still happens.
But yeah, but that's where we're at with For All Mankind. There's literally a colony on the moon, and they're mining it. There's a colony on Mars. And Ross, stop me if you've heard this one before. Right now in the show, they are attempting to steal an asteroid.
Uh-oh. The Gundam fan in me is raising red flags.
Yeah. They already tried moving at the very beginning, they tried moving an asteroid and it went poorly. And they're like, hey, let's steal one. I'm like, did you not learn your lesson? But Justin, I know you love the show. I love it really. I love it a lot, and the story's been really good. I don't know. Your thoughts, Justin? Oh, did we lose him?
Hello? There.
Okay, there we go. Oh, now he's there. There he is.
Sorry about that. Yeah, everything went a little haywire in this. I was trying to figure out what the hell that noise was. But yeah, I mean, I think it's like horribly fucking wrong that they're already plotting to steal an asteroid from, and they're also plotting to send the asteroid to Earth. So,
And I'll say
it's
this,
all go wrong.
Ross, did you like Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
Okay.
Up
Think
until
of
the
For
last
All
couple
Mankind as a
seasons.
space Game of Thrones because nobody is safe. There is a death
So-
every episode.
Battletech?
Yeah, there's a death every episode. So like, there's nobody safe.
Or,
Like, if you think this person's not going to die, they die.
So it's become the Expanse.
Okay, yeah, I'll give you that. Okay, a little bit more. Okay, yeah, there we go. Yeah, there's been a couple characters every season. Like you seem like, oh man, you get really attached to them. Next episode, done. So that's been actually okay. I don't want to say funny, but just comparing it to the other shows is kind of humorous. Like, okay, I see what they're doing now. But the way the one episode ended though was great. Ross, you would have loved it. It would have. He literally walks in and goes, "You want to help me steal an asteroid?" And the episode ends.
Do you want to steal an asteroid?
Yes.
Or,
Justin, are you okay?
do you want to steal a meteor?
Oh, no.
What did Leia
No.
say? What did Leia do?
We'll drop it on Australia.
Oh no!
We'll call it Operation British.
Wow.
And then
There
we'll
it
all
is.
get Mecca.
Okay, see, we're letting this
I'm
slide
in
because
danger.
we haven't heard Ross sing in a while, so we're gonna let him get away with it.
I will always get away from singing. You cannot stop me.
but yeah, so that's been For All Mankind again. The space race never ended, and me being in my field of having a degree in physics is just really exciting to watch. All the science checks out so far from somebody in my position. I'm like, it's a lot. There's some pseudoscience, sure, but I'm sitting there watching this. I'm like, this is all 100% plausible. Like, if we really, really wanted to, and there's a line in the show, I was in the last episode, that would make people balk today. Like, people would absolutely, their heads would explode. The director of NASA goes, well, we better do something quick. He goes, we're already over $1 trillion on this project. I'm like, I'm sorry, what?
and
I'm like, do you say
apparently, at one point, it's discussed that there's only 3 Star Trek shows up at that point.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, there's only 3 Star Trek shows.
I did hear about that.
And apparently, it's TOS, TNG, and Star Trek Phase 2.
Yeah, it's pretty great. Like, the amount of Trek references in the show is no accident because of Ronald Moore and the Okudas.
Oh yeah.
But they didn't mention if Star Wars was the thing, but they have mentioned Trek several times. So Trek is definitely there.
Star Wars should have happened because it was released. What was it? 60.
Star Wars was 77. Star Trek was
77.
66.
Star Wars
Oh,
was
okay,
made
yeah.
about the same time as
Oh,
Phase
so
2,
maybe-
if it
maybe
would've went
not.
on.
But there's
Maybe.
a lot of similarities. But like again, it's like what if for Marvel, so it's a what if again the space race thing.
Yeah.
What is it? Reagan is president, but then they elect the next president is a woman who she was director of NASA. She is a gay Republican. That goes over real well.
Yeah,
I bet.
But then of course get this, Al Gore becomes president.
And then
Adam's
all hell goes,
topic.
everything goes to shit.
I'm reminded of Prey, the video game where Kennedy was never assassinated.
Yeah. I believe in this series he's still assassinated because it happens after his assassination.
Yeah.
But actually, after he's assassinated, Ted Kennedy becomes president.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Ted Kennedy becomes president. Then I believe it's Reagan. Jimmy Carter's almost never mentioned. So yeah, it got pretty interesting with the political side of things. But so yeah, when Ross gets a chance, he'll love the show.
Oh, I'm sure. It's just a matter of making time. I don't have a great deal.
Okay, it's going to be one of those that once you start, you're not going to be able to stop. I'm
No,
just
you
warning
won't
you
be.
now. I mean, you'll
When I
be
was
taking
working- when I was
pictures
working
to
at
the
Slim-
bathroom and all that stuff.
When I was working at Slim, like I caught myself just watching. When I got from work, I was like, all right, I turned it on, and I like Justin was right. I couldn't stop. I just kept watching it. I got to the
Yep.
point though where I caught up, and I'm in season 4. And so next episode next week I was like, wait, I'm caught up.
Yeah, I'm caught up in all the episodes, and then like I'm going to start at Monarch. I just haven't got to it yet.
You haven't started Monarch yet?
No, because I was busy binging For All Mankind,
Okay, well, all man, well,
and
they
then I
both,
ended up watching another show called Silo. Which
well, both All
was good.
Mankind ends season 4 this week, and Monarch ends this week too. They both drop Friday. Well,
Yep.
well, okay. Since Justin doesn't see Monarch, he's lame. But Monarch was the next topic of
I'll watch
discussion.
it. I'll watch
Huh?
it. I'll watch it. See,
Okay, you
unlike
better.
some, I can actually get spoiled and still enjoy it.
Monarch though is really good. That was our next topic until I realized Justin hasn't seen it yet. Because
Go ahead. You will give it a rundown. Go ahead.
well, I'll give it a rundown. And I'm not gonna spoil. I don't want to say spoiler, but
care.
it dives into the history. So it doesn't really. Monarch has been really, really good. It's been received really well by fans. The show starts. It's the pacing is good. I'm gonna use that. The pacing has been really, really good. Anna Sawai has been really great in her role. The best casting of this show though goes to Wyatt and Kurt Russell. Wyatt is Kurt Russell's son, and plays a younger version of Kurt's character in the show.
John Walker from Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yes, thank you, John Walker. For those of you who don't know, but it works out so well because obviously he looks just like his dad at his age. But the show is pushing the question. It says Monarch Legacy of Monsters. It actually makes you ask the question: are we talking about monsters like Godzilla, or are we talking about humans? Because the Legacy of Monsters, while it's all about it's talking about Godzilla and a couple of the other titans they've seen in the show, if you pay attention to the characters, of course, humans are dicks. So, and Monarch is founded by Bill Randa, who was in Kong Skull Island. His younger version, or his younger self, he founded Monarch. That's his thing. So,
is it as goofy as Kong versus Godzilla?
Oh no! It's way more. It's actually got a way more serious tone. There's a few comedic parts, but it's definitely got you on the edge of your seat a couple times. And the show ends unlike a Star Trek episode where you know the show's gonna end, or even like with For All Mankind or something, or like a movie you know the ending's right there. Monarch ends and you're like, what the hell? Like every episode, like it ended right here. Are you serious right now? And they don't, and they treat the audience. They do treat the audience intelligently. They end the episode. The next episode, 5 years later, but they don't treat you like you're stupid. Like, yes, we know shit happened, but here's where we are now. So they're treating the audience like they're smart, and it's actually kind of helping out the pacing of the show because now you're sitting here like, oh, okay, I don't need the 5 years of exposition now. Here's where we're at. So that's been my take on it. I've loved the show.
Interesting.
And Jonathan, he's glued to it too, of course. Anything Godzilla. What about him? Yeah, I know. He plays the general. But Jonathan loves it. I love it. So it's been a really, like I said, it's been really good. And the season finale is this week for All Mankind and for Monarch. So Justin will get his For All Mankind taken care of, and then he'll start Monarch. Hopefully Ross get one of those started. We'll have to.
I want to see what happens if they try to steal that asteroid, to either kill Mars or kill Earth.
Okay, I honestly think the asteroid stealing is going to go so wrong that it's not.
Or
I don't think it's going to kill Earth or kill Mars. They're just going to get. It's either going to blow up or just fly, like float away. Like they're going to just do something wrong. One wrong booster is going to fire, and then the asteroid's gone forever. Like I'm going to laugh. Like either it's going to crash and kill Mars, or it's going to be gone forever.
or it's gonna
Or
go
it
crash
gets
and kill
sent on a
Earth.
wild trajectory around the sun, and it's going to come back and strike Earth, and they have to figure out over the course of the season how to stop it.
Ooh.
Okay, if
God damn it,
Ross
Ross.
just predicted season 5 without ever watching the show, if he doesn't get the Emmy for best writing,
If Ross has predicted season 5 without ever watching your show, I'll eat a fucking hot chip.
actually, here,
Don't do that, Justin. You'll die.
Oh.
what? Okay, Ross predicted season 5. You guys heard it here that they will lose the asteroid. It will go on an orbit around the sun and come back and basically threaten Earth. I think
I got a
George-
metal trait now. I'll pretty fuck.
We're gonna
fire.
call that now. For those of you new to the show, this is what they would call their old friend Justin and Ross, old friend George. This is what they would call a George theory, and Ross just pitched a George theory,
Without even thinking about it.
right?
That's how you make them. That's how you make them.
No, but
Don't-
of all the
don't
time
think
of
about
all the
it.
time I've known you guys, though, like that is the most George theory I've ever heard from you guys.
Be predicting the Enterprise D.
No, Ross calling the asteroid coming out without having seen the show. Ross is calling a George theory. That's got to be.
Well,
the
I
most
mean, I'm
George-
just going by the way the show has been progressing, thus far. I mean, they've, got the whole Margot storyline, which I won't spoil, and then now we have this. It's
So,
going to
yeah.
go horribly fucking wrong.
we know with the way the show goes for All Mankind, we know something is going to go wrong. There's no question about that. It's just a matter of what.
Either it's going to be Mr. Shaky Hand or it's going to be Russian.
But that concluded for our main topics. We appreciate you guys sticking around. So that was for Monarch, for Star Trek 23, and of course for All Mankind. So a couple things to close out the show are the things we're excited for coming up, actually. And this is where all three of us can give some opinion here. Now, I'm going to save probably the best for last. So we've got Echo actually drops tomorrow, all 5 episodes. That will be, if you will, Daredevil season 4, if you will. It was confirmed by not just Vincent D'Onofrio, but also producers of the show that Daredevil on Netflix is canon to the MCU Prime timeline.
And Luke Cage.
Luke Cage, yep.
That the Defenders are canon, as goofy as that was.
It is, yeah, they're canon.
I don't know how, but
Which
okay.
means Sigourney Weaver is canon, which I'm happy.
But one thing, of course, I'm excited for, and it's made me more excited because Patrick Stewart did all but confirm that he's returning as Professor X for Deadpool 3. It has been. I can appreciate this before we do go into our Deadpool wish list. A lot of Twitter pages and Facebook pages that are like hardcore insiders have taken a vow of silence to not post any more spoiler news that they learned from the movie until the movie comes out. They've all taken this agreement between each other to not do that, to keep the fans.
Because Deadpool would then pop out of nowhere and kick their ass.
Exactly. One of them jokingly said that in a sense, but I can appreciate that. So it's like cool. But one thing that was confirmed is that Deadpool 3 is going to do what Spider-Man No Way Home did. So Deadpool 3 is going to be jumping through all the old Fox Marvel properties. And so Patrick Stewart all but confirmed he's returning as Professor X as the one we've seen from the X-Men movies, not the Multiverse of Madness one. So I'm definitely excited for Deadpool 3. Ross, what about? I know you're excited, but what do you like? What are you looking forward to with this one?
I have no expectations for Deadpool 3
It's a Disney movie.
because it could do and go absolutely anywhere.
Right?
The possibilities for this are absolutely bonkers. This is Deadpool, rated R, produced by Disney.
I
We
mean,
have no idea what to expect, and I am not going to set any expectations because A, I'm not going to be disappointed, and B, I'm going to be excited no matter what.
Exactly.
I mean, Deadpool would go and grab Spider-Man and beat the shit out of him, and then go back into doing the rest of the movie.
Yeah, with Disney basically owning all of Marvel, there's nothing Deadpool can't do now.
Yeah.
I mean, he could go up and smack Reed Richards, and
yeah,
it'd be
you can do that.
okay.
Another one that I'm excited for, of course, because of Monarch leading in this one is Godzilla Kong New Empire. It is teased in the trailer. They're teaming up, which I am 100%
Kong gets an
here for.
Infinity Gauntlets.
And I can appreciate this. Now, one thing that's teased in Monarch and in Godzilla Kong, or Godzilla versus Kong, is that the creatures are obviously far more intelligent than we're led to believe. Godzilla knows what he's doing. So does Kong. So do all these Titans. They're not stupid. They're not purely instinctual creatures. And so I can appreciate them giving us Godzilla has that personality, if you will.
Yeah.
So Godzilla Kong teaming up against this Scar King is absolutely asininely bonkers. Seeing Godzilla and Kong running together is gonna be sick.
The Godzilla and Kong movies are the new Fast and Furious. I'm calling. That's my next George theory.
Oh,
Just as long as Beckinsale makes an appearance, fucking helps out the other guys. I'll be happy with that.
And I'll probably have to give Ross that. Like, it's as long as they don't say all you need is family. I swear to God.
I will fucking riot. I will riot.
Unless Kong or Godzilla start talking, I don't think you have to worry about it.
Or unless we have Kong and Godzilla fucking babies.
Then again, the
stuff.
The Godzilla movies already did the whole family thing with the main character getting a call to action.
That was the 60s and 70s. That was the 60s and 70s.
That was a weird time. Okay,
no, I'm talking about the first American Godzilla movie, the new first American Godzilla movie.
Oh, from
Taco Bell one.
What?
The 98 one?
No, I explicitly said not that one.
Oh.
The one with Heisenberg.
Oh, 2014 Godzilla. Got it.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, the good one.
Yeah, the main character's call to action was his father dying, essentially.
Yeah. Okay, you get that one. But according to Adam Wingard, the director, he has said that there's a couple sequences over 8 minutes long of pure kaiju interaction and action. And I'm all for it. Like, yeah, because people have been, one of the main complaints has been not enough monsters going at it or even just interaction. Wingard has said there's a sequence
the Transformers movies. No one cares about the human side of it.
Right. And so that's what he's taking that into account. So he said there's a couple sequences. One of them is 8 minutes long of just pure kaiju interaction.
No one cares about Mark Wahlberg. No one cares about Shia LaBeouf.
Now, there is one theory that has popped up, and it's gaining traction because a certain someone has said something after it came out. Apparently, at the end for test screening, someone blabbed that Pacific Rim Jaegers are cameoed at the end of Godzilla Kong New Empire.
I would be ecstatic.
Whoever that person was should never be invited to beers again.
I want another good Pacific Rim movie.
Guillermo del Toro needs to come back to direct in order for that to happen. Now, he has been adamantly against it because he feels he didn't get it done in time. But when that leak came out, people started asking him again, and he has not said no. He has not given an official denial. And if this is true, I don't want to get my own hopes up because we only have to wait a couple more months for this movie. But if Pacific Rim Jaegers pop up as like a cameo, like they're either being built or in action at the end of the movie, I'm with Ross. I will lose my collective shit. I will
fucking squeeze.
Now, let me clarify. I don't want the actual Jaegers from Pacific Rim in the movie. I would like to see giant robots versus kaiju. I don't want to see a mindless crossover because I loved Pacific Rim for what it was. I don't want to see it just kind of shoehorned into Monarch, if that makes
And
sense.
that was the thing that when Pacific came out in 13 and Godzilla came out in 14, it was Legendary was trying to combine those two franchises. Guillermo del Toro was leading the charge, but they said no at the time. And now I'm like, if they're coming back and basically said yes, we'll go ahead and do it now, then like you said, it's gonna have to be tasteful. They're gonna have to find a way to do this properly.
Now, one of the hazards of doing that, at least from a story perspective, is that Mechagodzilla from Kong versus Godzilla came about because someone was trying to build something like a Jaeger.
Right.
Well, they're trying to build a Mecha Kaiju and use Ghidorah's skulls. And there was still intelligence in there.
So yeah, that's
so.
definitely
Oh my god, it was Pacific Rim 2.
And Pacific Rim 2, the premise was interesting, but they just kind of lost it. Like, I don't know what happened.
I did not expect Pacific Rim 2 to go Evangelion quite like that.
But so we'll kind of wrap it up there tonight, folks. I appreciate you guys tuning in and watching. Hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you enjoyed us coming back. We're gonna try to do this every couple of weeks. Hopefully have a normal schedule. Usually we'll try to aim for
Probably
weekends.
won't be always on Mondays. We're just doing this because we have the actual time, and it's nice to be different.
But yeah, so tonight was just one of the special broadcasts. We hope that our goal is usually Sunday nights, but always pay attention to the weekends. Saturday, Sunday nights, we'll see what we're doing. Sometimes we'll have the Eyebrows of Doom with us and Ross. Hopefully more often than not. But good to be back for season 2. Thank you for being here for the premiere. Ross, any parting words for our return to glory?
Shaka, when the walls fell.
Good enough. Justin, on that note, go ahead and sign us off. Everybody, have a great rest of your night. We'll see you next time.
Oh my god. Until next time, everybody. See ya later. And now if I could just hit the actual button.
Hold on.
Oh.
Say bye.
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 All right. Justin, are you not ready to sign us off?